Hi all. Yesterday we have created a ALV report, right? So where we have displayed multiple levels of ALV output using interactive ALV technique, right? So first we displayed the first level report, and when we clicked on a specific value, depends on that input. That depends on that we are taking that value as input, and we are displaying next level report, in the sense in detail report, right? Like that we can navigate up to how many levels?
20 levels.
20 levels. Yeah. So like, I hope all of you is able to understand how to navigate and how to display the reports, like different levels of reports in interactive report. So when we are discussing about these interactive reports, I told you like two different scenarios, right? First scenario, what is the first scenario? Where we navigate. What is our scenario? Where is it? Interactive ALV. You can also take this thing. Yeah, there are two scenarios. The first scenario, we're going to open different levels of report. Like we are going to uh, navigate through different levels of report. Header report, item level report, and next level report, in more in detailed reports. Correct? That is the first scenario. What is the second scenario we discussed?
Transaction.
Open the transaction code. When you selected a specific value, for example, if you selected sales order number, it should take it should take you to the transaction code where you can maintain sales orders, right? If you click on material, it should take you to the transaction code where you can maintain that material, right? For example, sales order transaction codes are VA01, VA02, VA03, right? Material transaction code MM01, MM02, MM03. So these are the standard transaction codes where business users going to maintain the data, right? So that whenever they click on a specific sales order number in the report, so we should navigate them to the transaction code to maintain or to update the data, right? It's a shortcut for the business users. So for example, we are going to provide them a report, ALV report. So in the ALV report, they'll search all the sales orders created within the 1 week, last 1 week, right? And they'll check the status of the sales order. If they think that they need to update something in the sales order, so without opening a new session and entering the sales order number manually, what they can do, they can just click on the sales order number. It will automatically take them to the VA02 transaction code, right? And it will automatically open that specific sales order number, right? Correct? That is what the requirement. So when they click on this first sales order number, it should open VA02 and it should open this specific sales order number. Not like opening VA02 is not enough. You have to open that sales order number also automatically. Correct? So it will reduce manual effort of the business users, right? So day to day, business users are going to process hundreds of thousands of sales orders. Depends on the organization, right? And their business transactions. If we can provide these easy options, they can process more sales orders, right? Within the given time. Productivity will be improved, right? Otherwise, they have to select that sales order and they have to go to VA02 and they have to select the option to change the sales order number and enter the sales order number. All these steps they have to perform, right? If you give this shortcut, they don't need to do anything. If they just click on the number, it will take them to VA02 transaction code, right? And it should open that sales order number, particular sales order number automatically. Same case with material, right? If they want to maintain some materials, if they click on material number, it should automatically take them to which screen, which transaction code, MM02 or MM03, because MM01 is to create new material, right? That is not required in our case. That is not suitable, all right? VA01 is to create the new sales order. We are not creating, right? We are already displaying, already created sales orders or materials, right? Shall we see that? How we do that? Is everyone clear about the requirement?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, to save some time today, I'll just copy the yesterday's program, interactive report 2, second scenario, right? Copy everything, select all. So it will copy everything, including the documentation, and even if you have any variants created, copy. Oh, it is expecting a include program, target include program. So this is the, we are using a include program, right? In this program.
Yes, sir.
So we have to provide name for that include program in the new program. Or can you tell me what are we using here? What are we using this include program? We are just building the field
Field
catalog,
card.
right? So can we use the same program without creating a new program? Why we need to create a new program since we are using same field catalog here, right?
Yes, sir. We can use the same.
Deselect this, copy. So I'm not creating new include program. I'll just call the include program here. Since it's a new application, what you need to do? You need to create a new transport request, right? Because it's a different requirement. Please assume this as a different requirement. Anyway, I'm going to save in the existing transport request. I think this is the one. So if you check the where is the list of that include program, how many programs are calling that include program?
Two program.
Two programs, right? So before changing this include program, you should be very careful because if you change, like someone assign you a ticket on the first program, the first interactive scenario. Okay, there is some issue in the field catalog that is specific to that program, first program, not to the second program. Second program is working fine, right? They want to change something in the first program field display, right? If you go to the include program and change here, is that recommended? Is it recommended to change this include program code without considering the second program?
No, sir.
No, you have to consider both programs because this is being called in two programs, right? If you change, if you change in the include program, both program will affect the changes will affect the both programs, correct? So both programs will be impacted with these changes. So that when you are changing something, this kind of reusable objects, you have to think about the both programs, right? You can add some condition specific to the first program here, right? If can we add SAP SYREP if that code is specific to the first program, use some condition like this, right?
Sir, if we change the include name, then we can change it, sir.
Sorry, what is it?
If we change the include name while creating the program. Just now we copy the same
Then
include.
then it is a separate include program, right? There is no
Then we can change
dependency.
it, no, sir?
Uh,
Oh,
because this program is being used by two different programs, right? So if you consider only one program and if you change the include, the other program will also impact. You have to keep that in mind, okay? Before changing these kind of reusable objects, whether this change is applicable for both programs or single program, right?
yes.
If the change is applicable only to the one program, then you have to write code by mentioning that condition. So this code should be executed for only first program. You have to use some condition, okay? Or if that condition is not possible, create a separate include for both programs, right?
Yes, sir.
So this is same with function modules, class methods also, okay? You have to do that impact analysis before going to change this kind of reusable objects. Now, so what is my requirement? First, I'll display the report, a basic ALV report. From there, I need to navigate to the transaction codes. Wherever I click on, like whenever I click on material number, or this is the purchase order report, right? You can refer our old program, like how we created this using function modules, right? So you can refer our old program. So if any one of you is not, if you are not able to follow how we created this program, this is in our previous sessions. I think a week ago we created this program, right? First you can go through that program and then you can come back to these interactive reports. How we make that program as interactive ALV. Then it will be clear for you. I'm removing everything. I'll keep it as a normal ALV report. Then we'll start from there. I'm commenting this callback user command because we don't have any subroutine. Pretty printer. So this is a basic ALV report where we are validating the input and we are selecting the business logic using this PO data function module where we are joining EKKO, EKPO and MAKT tables, right? And we are returning final output to the exporting parameter. And after returning the output, we are building the field catalog here. So we are building the field catalog and we are displaying the data using a ALV grid display function module. Now we'll see how to make this ALV report as an interactive report. First, see the data. I think, see, sometimes you may not be able to see the output. If I select this, there is no data. Or see, even though, for example, if I take SAP, there is no data available for SAP company code. That is a valid company code, but no data is available, right? You have to check the data and you have to provide the relevant input, right? For the company code which is having records in the EKKO table, right? Go to the EKKO and check is that company code like is there any record available for that company code in EKKO table or not, right? When you are testing the program, because if there is no like if no one created purchase order for that particular company code, you can't see any data even though your code is correct, right? Pass a correct value like which is having some data in the table and test. Now we'll make this report as interactive report. Now tell me what are the steps.
Uh,
What is it? What is the first step? Yesterday I provided you the steps to create the interactive
Add
report.
hotspot to the
Uh,
selected field.
Hotspot. Select the hotspot. Please mute. There is some static noise. Okay. So I want hotspot for EBLN, that is purchase order number, and material number also. I want hotspot for both fields. For material number, it's already added. Or first, let's see how it will work for material number. Then we'll go for purchase order data. Okay. So material number hotspot is already there. So where you are going to assign hotspot?
Field cat.
In field catalog. Okay. You should mention that it is very common interview questions, right? How can you add hotspot? Where can you add hotspot? Right? They should like we should provide as much details as possible, right? So when they talk about hotspot, we should mention about field catalog, right? If we give only half answers, then again they'll come up with a new question, right? Now hotspot is ready. What next? What is the next step?
Create a subroutine for user command.
Yes, the
But
next
we
step
need
is
to
creating a subroutine for user command form. It should be the last statement, right? Subroutine should be the last statement of the program, right? You can also create an include program here and keep all your subroutines inside the include program. If you have multiple levels, yesterday we have observed multiple levels of ALV, right? Then we created multiple subroutines. But in this example, we don't need multiple. We are going to create only one subroutine because we are not going to multiple levels, right? First level to second level to third level. Here we have only first level report. From here we are going to navigate to the standard transaction code, standard or custom, whatever it is. Form user CMD. Tell me the subroutine. What are the
Using
parameters?
LV
LV underscore ucom
type
type. What is the
SY
type?
SY
SY.
UCOM.
you
So what is this system variable? SYUCOM. If I click on execute,
If
if I click on
the
execute, it will
button
capture the function code behind it, right? So every button will have a code behind it, right? Function code. It captures that function code. SYUCOM will capture the function code of the button. Okay, clear? What is the next one? By using this, we can capture the user action. What does the user click on in the ALV report? So what is the next one?
sys underscore self
Yeah,
field.
by using UCOM, we are capturing the action. How to capture the value? What is the value that user selected? Using selection structure. You can find it in a SLIS type group. selection structure. Type, what is the type? Slice underscore, which one?
Selection field.
Self fields.
What is this? It's a type structure, right? It's a type structure, and we are creating a work area with reference to this type structure, right? You can find this in slice field cat, sorry, type group, slice type group. What is the next step? Capture the action first. What is the user action? If lv underscore ucom equal to, what is the user action?
Address IC1.
If address IC1, what does that mean? So user clicked on the ALV output record, right? If ucom equal to bu, what does that mean? Bu
BU.
is for
Save
save,
action.
Share
save.
button.
That is for save button. Okay. So like that you can capture like this ucom, right? You can, we are going to use it in different programs in different scenarios. The concept is same, right? Not only in interactive reports. Mm. We are handling the action. What next? We need to check the value, right? What is the value that user selected?
Call it.
So in this selection structure we have field name, technical name, technical field name, and field value, and also tab index, right? The complete table index hyphen field name. You can find these names, field names in a list type group. If you go to this type structure, you can find all these field names, or you can keep a breakpoint here before writing the code. Just keep a breakpoint here and check how it is working. Okay. Field name is Matner. If sorry, we need to use case statement or if statement, right, to handle that. When you can also use if statement hyphen field name. Sorry, not when. Case, right? Case and case when field name is Matner. What is our action? What is our action? What we need to do when user selected the Matner?
It needs to go to decode.
It should take them to the transaction
Transaction code.
mm02 or mm03. Okay. For example, like this, go to mm02. This is material change transaction code. So enter some material 97. Double click. Okay. Plant data is missing. Material 1 does not exist in plant A608. It seems someone implemented an enhancement so that it is automatically populating some values. Let me select some other material. Or I'll create a material. One second. mm01 at 100. Okay, material sector is mechanical engineering or whatever. Material type is we'll take finished product. Finished product. Continue. Continue. So I'm just creating a material, new material. So I think a unit of measurement is required here. I'm selecting each group, material group. It's not a raw material, finished product. That's it. That's it, I think. Now, if you observe here, please observe the standard transaction code. I'm creating a new material, right? So how many tables it's going to reflect? If I click on save, this data, like in how many tables this data is going to be saved? Obviously, Mara table. The first table is Mara because it's a material master table. What about the description? In which table is this description is going to save?
MAKG.
In MAKT table, right? So so whatever the data we entered here is going to save in different tables, right? So this application contains different tables. Let's check, is it available in Mara? Not available. Click on save. Material MAT100 is created. Now check in the Mara table, execute. So one table entry is created in Mara table, and also this should be available in MAKT for description. Description will be saved in MAKT. So the code is already written, implemented in the standard application, like which data need to save in which table. Like it is automatically saved in English language because we logged in English language, right? Now what is my expectation? So when user clicked on the material number, for example, go to MM02, come back to our interactive report. So when user click on a specific material, it should open the screen, not this screen, this screen automatically, not the initial screen. It should automatically populate the material number and it should automatically open this second level screen, right? I'm not expecting this screen, the first level screen, right? When user click on the any material number, it should automatically populate that value and it should display this screen, right? So that user don't need to enter the material number again, right? He'll just click and it should open this screen. Clear? Is everyone clear?
Yes, sir.
Now implement the program. What is the statement to call the transaction code? When user clicked on Matner, what we need to do? We need to call a transaction code, right? What is the transaction code we have to call?
MM02.
MM02.
MM02 transaction code. So what is the statement to call the transaction code?
Single.
Call transaction.
Yeah,
Transaction.
call transaction.
Again, you need to skip the initial screen, right, sir?
Call transaction MM02. Let's see how it will work without skipping the initial screen. Then we will implement step by step. execute the program, provide the input. Click on any material number. Is it working? Let's keep a breakpoint here. Why it is not working? It's not working. Even I'm clicking here. Why it is not working? Anything wrong in the code? Is there any error in the code? Just observe the code and let me know why it is not working.
Sir, user command is in.
Yeah, we commented this, right? Just on comment. Okay, we disabled that user command. That's why the subroutine itself not triggering. Now it should work. Click on any material number. It is taking me to the MM02 transaction, but for which but it's not taking me to the actual screen, right? It is displaying the overview screen where I need to enter the material number again here, right? And observe this value. What is the material number it is showing? What is the material number it is showing?
100 material.
100. I didn't click on that material number, right? I didn't click on that material number even though it is showing. Why? It is coming from the memory, SAP memory. So I'll explain that in detail now. Okay. Why it is displaying this value as default value in the selection screen in the first place. The other thing is it is not taking me to the actual screen where where the user needs to change the data. For that, what we need to do? We need to add skip initial screen. I don't want to display this screen. Go to the next level screen. What you need to do? Skip and skip first screen. Now let's try how it's going to work. I'm skipping the first screen. Now click on material number 69, ending with 69, some bearing. Is it material number 69?
No.
No. It's
81.
open material number 100. Why? Because this material number 100 is saved in the memory, SAP memory. For that, material number matter, right? This material number matter is saved in the SAP memory. What is that?
Sir,
Yeah.
here also we have to pass the selections field value.
What is selection field value you are talking about?
I mean,
Yeah, that's what you have to. Yeah, we have to pass. But let's observe. Let's tell me, like, let's talk about the memory now. Okay, I'll tell you
okay, sir.
because see why it is displaying. Still, it is displaying material 100 because material 100 is saved in SAP memory. Okay, functionality is working fine. It is calling the transaction code, but it is not calling the required material number. It is just displaying the material number which is saved in the memory. So what is the concept behind this SAP memory? So every field will have a memory, right? For example, if you go to open ME22N, what is this transaction code? Purchase order change, right?
Change.
See, it is automatically open some purchase order. It's opened some purchase order, right? Why it is automatically opened this purchase order? Because this value is in that EBELN. What is the field name for purchase order number? What is the field name for purchase order number?
EBELN, sir.
EBELN, right? So it is saved in that memory. That's why it is automatically displaying that value, right? Now go to VA02. So we did not open anything. I think let me add one sales order. There is no value in the memory. I think for this sales order, there is no value available in the memory. Let me select one value. So there is some data issue for this. Now I have selected this value, right? 385. I've selected this value 385. Sales order number 385. Close this sales order. Open again. Or VA03. Now I am opening VA03. Why it is automatically showing this value?
It is saved in the memory.
Yeah, because it is saved in the SAP memory for that which field? For which field it is saved?
Then
Sales order
purchase
number
order.
VBELN.
Sales order.
Sales
Sales
order
order.
number VBELN. What is the logic behind this memory? So how can you know what is the field name of this input? How can you know what is the field name of this input? So it is saying order, but if you want to know field name, is it VBELN, is it POSNR, is it MATNR? How you are going to know that? Please observe, it is very important. Please observe. Place the cursor on the field. Place the cursor on the field. Click on F1.
F1.
It is very important. Please observe. And it will provide some details of the field name. It is a sales document number, and still we don't see the technical name, right? Technical name of the field, and what is the data element of the field? Click on this banner symbol. Technical information. Click on this. Can you see here? So this is the standard program. This is the standard program name, and this is the screen number. What is the field name?
VBELN.
VBELN is the technical field name of this order, right? So what is the data element?
VBELN underscore VA.
VBELN is the data element using for this input. What is, observe here, parameter ID. What is this parameter ID? Parameter ID, we use parameter ID used to set the value in the memory, SAP memory, or read the value from the SAP memory, right? This parameter ID is going to be used as a, like, we are going to use this parameter ID to set the value to the memory or to read the value from the memory, right? Because why it is automatically displaying this 385 sales order number? Because that value is being saved in this parameter ID, right? Wherever you find a parameter ID, you can set some value for that field, default value for that field. So that will be saved in which memory?
SAP ma'am.
SAP memory. Please remember SAP memory. So whoever opened any transaction code, that value will be automatically displayed because it is saved in the memory, SAP memory. So what is the parameter we use for SAP memory? We use parameter ID, right? So where can you find this parameter ID? Go to VBAK. Go to VBAK table and VBELN.
Data ID.
Go to data element, double click on the data element. In further characteristics, what you can find here? Parameter
Parameter.
ID. Correct?
Parameter ID.
You can set values, you can set default values for this field VBELM as long as parameter ID is maintained in the data element, right? You can set default values in the SAP memory for this field. Similarly, check any other field, uh, check ER name. What is the data element? Go to ER name field, go to further characteristic. Is there any parameter ID available?
No.
No. So we can't set any values for this ER name field, any default values for this ER name field, right? Let's check any other value VKORG. For this, we have a parameter ID, right? VKO is the parameter ID. Can we set the default values for VKORG?
Yes.
Yes, we can set values for VKORG. Correct? Similarly, go and check Mara table. Matner field. Double click on the Matner.
MAT.
MAT is the parameter ID, right? So you can set default values for material field. So wherever you are referring this material number, right? Wherever you are referring this material number in any standard transaction code, that whatever the value you set will be available, right? It will automatically populate that value. Clear? So how can you set the values to SAP memory?
Set parameter.
By using parameter ID. Okay. So here we have other options, change document. By using change document option, if it is selected, so it will track the changes, right? Modifications of the field value, right? Anyway, I'll take separate session on this. So please observe parameter ID here. So SAP memory, when we are talking about SAP memory, what you need to explain? You have to explain about parameter ID of the field, right? Now, so it is automatically setting some value, right? Like when you execute some data, so it is automatically setting some value, right, in the SAP memory for standard programs. Go to MM02 or MM03. This value is automatically available, right? That is taken care by the standard functionality. But how can we set the value? Before going to open this transaction code, I want to set the value what I need and I want to display it. How can I do it programmatically? For that we have a statements. These are set parameter ID and get parameter ID. What are the statements?
Set parameter ID and get
Set
parameter ID.
parameter ID and get parameter ID. Set parameter ID is used to set the value. Get parameter ID, what is that statement for? To read the value. If you want to know what is the value available in SAP memory, what is the statement we are going to use?
Get parameter ID.
Get parameter ID statement. SAP memory. So SAP memory is global. Any user, it is available for any user in any session. Okay. Once you set the value, same value will be available for any other user until next value is updated in the SAP memory. For example, user 1 opened material number 100. Now What is the value available in SAP memory? Material number 100. If someone else opened some other value, then memory will be updated with new value, right? Use parameter ID, or parameter ID is what is required for SAP memory? Parameter ID.
Parameter ID.
So where can you find parameter ID?
Data element.
Further characteristics in data element.
Right? When you are creating the custom thing, what you need to do? When you are creating the custom data element, what you need to do? You have to assign a parameter ID if required, right? Then what are the statements? Set parameter ID, parameter ID name. I'll use p name. P name in the sense parameter name. Whatever the parameter ID, we have to provide that name. And field value, whatever the value you want to set. For example, we have some value in sv underscore value. This is a variable. So what it will do now? It will set whatever the value available in lv underscore value to that parameter, right? To set the values to parameter ID. To read the value, if I want to know what is the value that is already available in parameter ID, what is the statement? For that,
Get
use
parameter.
get parameter ID. Get ID, parameter ID name, field. So we need to read that value into field, right? We're reading here. We're not updating, but we are reading the value. For example, lv underscore value, and you can display that value wherever you want to use. Okay. To read the value in SAP memory for the specified field. For example, if you want to read the value for Matner, you can specify parameter ID of that Matner in place of that P name. Clear? Shall we try it in the program? First, I'll create a sample program on it. Okay. First, I'll create one sample program and we'll see how that is working. Then we implement that in our interactive report. Zdemo SAP memory. See, this SAP memory and parameter ID concept is not specific for the interactive reports, right? We're going to use that functionality in many places. Can you tell me one thing? How can you know what is the field name of this program? Here we have an input, right? Program name. This is also a standard program. SC38 is also a standard program, right? It is also a program designed in some ABAP code where you are writing the ABAP programs. This is the input, right? So what is the field for this input? What is the field name? What is the technical field name of this? How can you know that? Place the cursor here, click on
F1.
F1. So in some laptops, you may need to press function key F1. You need to observe that. Okay. You need to press a function key and F1, or you can set that function key. You can just press on F1. Now, what is the field name of this? Click on the technical settings. What is the field name of this?
PRO program.
Program.
PROGRAMM. That is the field name of this. What is the data element? This is the
Program.
data element. What is the parameter ID?
RID.
RID. So whenever I open SC38, go to SC38. Why I am able to see this name automatically, some default name? Because it is set to the SAP memory, to that parameter ID. That's why we're able to see that default program name. Clear? How to find the technical name of the field in the screen? Place the cursor on the field name and click on F1 and go to technical settings. You can find the technical field name of that field. It is common in any field. Okay. Also, it's an important interview question. They'll ask you how to find the technical name of the screen field. Let's say this is a screen. How can you find technical name of the screen field?
Put the cursor on the required place
Field,
and then press
press
F1.
F1.
Then
It
go
will
for the
display you the
technical information.
technical information. There you can find the field name, structure name, and data element. Right? Clear? Let's try this radio button. What it will display? Place the cursor on radio button and click on F1. It is displaying field name, right? This is the
Yes, sir.
technical field name of this radio button. Okay, this is the data element. Like that, you can do it for any field, whatever the field available in screen, right? Here again, in this pop-up, I have a screen number, right? If I want to know technical field name of the screen number, what is the technical field name? Place the cursor on screen number and click on F1 and go to technical settings, spanner symbol. This is the field name of that screen number. This is the data element, right? This is common for every field. Is everyone clear? This is very important. Now create our program. Executable program. Continue. Okay. Save in our existing transport. First, I'll see how to read the value. How to read the value which is already available in memory. How to read the value? What is the statement?
Get
Get
parameter ID.
parameter ID. What is the parameter ID of the material?
Mat.
I
MAT.
don't know. I don't know. Let me check. Go to Mara table. Go to data element.
Data element.
Further characteristics.
Other characteristics. MAT.
Mat. In capital letters, provide it. Mm. Field. We need to read the value into one variable, right? So what is the value? We have to define it. What is the type of the variable we need to use? What is the value we are reading? Material, right? Material number. Then define one variable with same type of material number. What is the type? Matner. That is the data element, right? For material number. Now LV underscore. The value will be captured into LV material, right? So in the project, this should be the what What should we use here instead of this hard-coded text symbol,
Text symbols.
right? In place of this, what do you need to use?
Constant.
Constant. ALV underscore material. Now let's see how it will work. Keep a breakpoint here at get parameter statement and execute. Material number is empty, F5. What is the value available in SAP memory?
Mat 100.
Material 100. Shall we set another material? One thing I'll show you here. So do we really need to declare a variable here? Why need to declare additional variable? I can use inline declaration, right? Like this. Data. You can just use inline declaration if you want, right? Execute. So you can use inline declaration here. But how can you replace this hard-coded value? You need to define a constant, right? Constant. For example, C underscore mat. What is the type? What is the data element of this parameter ID?
Character.
What is that? Tell me what is the data element? Do you know what is the data type of this? Do you know what is the data type of this? Mat, this parameter ID value, right?
Yes.
Do you know what is the data element of this? Or do you know what is the data type of this? What is the length of this? What is the maximum length allowed? Do you know? We don't know, right?
No,
How
no,
can
we
you
don't.
find it? Go to data element. Here is your parameter ID field, right? If you can find the technical field name of this parameter ID, you can get to know, right? You can know, right? What is
Yes.
the type and what is the data element and everything. How can you find the technical field name of the parameter ID?
F1 and go for the technical information.
Press F1. Go to technical settings. What is the data element?
Memory ID.
Memory ID. Double click on the data element. It is the character 20. Anyway, you don't need to worry about what is the data type and what is the length. If you know the data element, just go and use it, right? Here, type, memory ID, value in capital letters, mat. In place of hard-coded value, use, see any constant. Please observe, this is same for when you are defining a constant, please keep that in mind. Use relevant data type for that value and pass the value. Okay. This concept you are going to use in hundreds of programs, right? Because you need to replace many hard-coded values. Whenever you do, even if you removed a small comma, what you need to make sure when you are working in support projects, or even though if you removed a small comma, what you need to do? You need to make sure the program is working after removing the comma, right? Clear? Come on. So how many interview questions we covered today? So one thing related to SAP memory, the other thing related to how to find technical field names of the screen fields, and how to find the parameter ID of a field. What else? and how to navigate to a standard transaction code from ALV report. We covered all these things. I activate it. Now shall we set the value? Shall we set the value in SAP memory? How can you set the value in SAP memory? What is the statement for that?
Set parameter ID.
Set parameter ID. Let's take some value which is already available in Amara table. Or I'll do one thing, I'll create one more material. By taking this material as reference, go to MM01. I'll create some basic material. I'll take copy from, see, I'll use the old material and I'll create a new material. 101. So I'm using this as a template, the old material as a template. Click on continue. Now when we created this material, the standard functionality should automatically set this new material value to SAP memory. I don't want any plant data and information. So let's change the description. That's it. Let's keep it as it is. Or I'll change the unit of measurement to some square meters, days, dozens. Save. Okay, looks like it is already maintained somewhere. Okay, material number 101 is created. Now execute our program. What is the expected output? 101, right? Because the standard functionality updated the SAP memory. Correct? Memo T. Okay. Shall we set what is the current value in SAP memory? 101.
101.
We'll set the new value. Depends on our requirement. We'll set the new value here. So you have to please follow the live class. Okay. Please follow the class. Don't go through some Insta reels if my class is boring. Come on. Looks like the training server sometimes not able to process all the work process. If it receives multiple requests from multiple users, looks like there is a deadlock and it is taking time to resolve that. Okay. So now we have 101, right? Let's set other value. So what is the statement to set the value?
Set parameter ID.
Set parameter ID.
Set parameter ID, parameter ID name. We can use the same, right? Parameter ID name, field. We need to set the value right here. What I'll do, I have already declared one material, or I'll declare one constant, or whatever. You can also take one parameter, LV underscore material equal to MAT101. I'm updating the new value and I'm passing that value to SAP memory. Or I'll do like this. Clear that variable first and then update with new value, and I'll set that value to SAP memory, and I'll do one more write statement. Use slash, otherwise it will print in the same line. I'll use different color, some 4. I'll use new or updated. So let's try this. So material is blank initially, F5. What is the value? 101 is the value. Oh, no. I'm setting again 101, right? So I have set a different value again. Okay. I'll change that in the debug mode. I've cleared the value and again I am setting 101. Instead of 101, I'll change the value. Double click on the variable, click on the pen symbol and change it to 100. Click on enter. So the new value will be updated. Now I am setting the parameter ID. Right? This is how we can set the parameter ID. Or we can do one thing. After setting the parameter ID, once again, we'll read the value. In that way, we can understand what is the value available in memory. Read updated value. Now we can see what is the updated value in memory. I'll pass, yeah, now it should work because the current value should be 100, right? Okay, I should remove because we have already declared this, right? We don't need to use data statement again. Before that, I'll clear the variable. Make sure there is no value available in LV underscore material. So this concept is same for any field which is with parameter ID, right? Here we are taking only material number as example, but the process is same for setting the value or reading the value. It is same for any field which is having a parameter ID. Only thing is this parameter ID will be different and this variable will be different. If you are taking EBLN, you have to define a variable for EBLN and you have to define parameter ID declaration is same. For every parameter ID, this constant declaration is same. Type memory ID only for every parameter ID. Only this variable declarations will be changed. So we'll set the value and we don't need to display any statement. Execute. LV underscore material is blank. The value in memory is 100. SAP memory is 100. Clear the variable. Set the new value. What is the value we are setting to SAP memory? 101. Subrc equal to 0. That means actually we have to write some subrc statements here. If subrc equal to 0, parameter ID is successfully updated with new value. Now get the value which is in memory to the variable. Now value in the memory is 101, right? Clear? That's it. That's about parameter IDs. Is everyone clear on this? Is everyone clear on this? Setting the parameter ID and reading the parameter ID. You can check if if sy hyphen sub rc equal to 0, that means there is a valid value in the parameter, then display the output. Clear? Is everyone clear? Shall we go to our interactive report now? Where is our interactive report? Now what we need to do here, before going to call the transaction code, we need to set the value. Whatever the value, we need to open, right? Otherwise, it will open the value which is already in the parameter ID, correct? Are you guys there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now what we need to do, before going to call the transaction code, in our interactive report, we need to set the value, set the new value, what we wanted to open, correct? Now write, what is the statement you have to write here? To set the value,
Set
Set
parameter.
parameter ID.
as I shown you in the program, just use constant. For now, I'm using the parameter ID. Set parameter ID field. What is the value you have to pass here? The value which is coming from selection structure, right? This is the value you have to pass, correct? We are updating the parameter ID with the value that is selected by user. Correct? Is everyone clear what we are doing here? Guys, tell me, is everyone clear what we are doing here or not?
Yes, sir.
Let's keep a breakpoint and test how it will work. Click on any material number, 69. UCOM is IC1. We have a value, Matner. User selected the Matner. What is the value in selection structure? 69. What is the default value in parameter ID now? I think it's mat 100, right?
Yes, sir.
Now we are updating with our this new material number, whatever the user selected. Now it should open that screen, right? It should open that material number, right? Automatically when we skip the first screen. So set the parameter ID. Sub r is equal to 4. I don't think
It is.
set.
It's not set.
Oh, yeah, it is set actually. I think that might be the previous sub RC value. If you see here, parameter ID is set, right? 69. But it is
So,
expecting some plan data and everything. This is related to data, okay? We can't do anything about it. If there is no proper data, it will open. But the value is set, right? And it is navigated to the next level screen. That we have to observe. Clear? Parameter ID 69 is updated. Now let's check the our test program to know what is the current value in parameter ID. I will comment this part, set parameter ID part, and check. Now it should give me the current parameter ID, current value in the memory. It is 69 only, right? Now when you are go back to your program. stop this, execute your program again. What is the program we created?
PO.
demo underscore SAP.
Now it should update a new value. Let's select 73 or try this M8001. Selection field is Matner. Set the parameter ID value. Value is coming from selection structure mat01. Set the parameter value and open the transaction code. Right? What are we doing? We are setting the default value and opening the transaction code by skipping the first screen. Then it should take us. It should automatically populate MT01 value to the MM02 transaction code, and it should open the second screen automatically. Value is set and the next level screen is open, but it is expecting some plant and everything, right? But the functionality is working, correct? It is opening that specific material, correct? Now let's go back. Shall we implement the same for purchase document number? Now add one more condition here. Someone is editing. I think it's me. It's locked somewhere. It is locked. I'll remove the lock. In SM12, we can check the locks when multiple users are working on the same program, right? So that will be locked. So select all. I'll remove everything. I'll remove all locks, delete. So this lock mechanism ensures, right, to change only, like to allow only one user to change at a time, right? So that one user is going to change one change and the other user is going to perform multiple different change. That's not expected, right? That's not consistent. Okay, let's do the same thing for purchase document number. Use one more when condition. When, what is the name of the purchase document number? EBELN. What we need to do? First, set parameter ID. What is the parameter ID for EBELN? First set the value.
Parameter.
First
We
set the
use an
value what you want to open, and then call the transaction code. Further characteristics, BES is the parameter ID, but I recommend you to define constant. Don't use hard-coded values, even for the transaction code. Here also. Field value is same. Whatever the value available in a selection structure. That is the value selected by the user, right? Now, what is the transaction code you have to call? Call transaction ME. Shall we call 23N to display the purchase order, or 22N, whatever you need. Sorry. And skip first screen. Let's see whether this skipping first screen is really required for ME23N or not. Now, breakpoint is already there. Execute. Now I'm going to click on purchase order number. Did we add hotspot for this? Hotspot is not available, right? Shall we just double click? So that double click is working. If you add hotspot, a single click is fine. And also user can understand, okay, there is a hyperlink here. Okay, this might be, this option might be provided for an interactive report. So I can navigate further using EBELN. He can understand, right? If you provide some hotspot. You can also understand that, okay, this is not a normal field, this is a field with interactive option, right? IC is IC1. What is the field we selected? Field name is EBLN. What is the value? We have selected 45004. Parameter ID is set and execute the transaction code. What it is saying? Why did not open anything? ME23N and skip. Okay, let's try 22. It should open, right? It should open. Yeah. Click on this purchase order. 6. For some reason, not possible to proceed. What is the error? It's written. Let me check that error again. Contract process a contract using this function. Okay. Let's check what is this message. Not possible. Okay, you have entered a document that cannot be processed using choosing function. Looks like this is also a data issue. Let's try other purchase order. This one. Let's try this one. Yeah, this is working, right? 5035 purchase order is working. Okay, it is automatically navigated to the purchase order maintenance screen, right? In ME22N, and this should work for ME23N also. The previous orders what we selected, those are not valid purchase orders, right? So that's why it did not open that record. Execute. Select this starting with 45. Double click. Your purchase order. This purchase order display ME23N, right? We are able to navigate to that particular transaction directly. It is ending with 12. If we select 64, it should open that corresponding purchase document number. Opened it, right? We'll add hotspot so that we don't need to double click, and also it will be easy for the user to identify the fields with interactive options. Now what it is asking, where I am changing this. If you observe this, where did I add that hotspot option? In include program, right?
Yes, sir.
So now I am activating it or saving it. It is showing those two dependent programs of this include program, right? It is showing this. So it is saying that these two reports are going to impact whatever the changes you did here. So select continue. So we are able to navigate to the purchase orders or sale material numbers as per the user requirement, right? This is how you can add the hotspot, and behind the hotspot we can implement the required functionality. Clear? Here you can make one field for like to navigate to the standard transaction codes, or you can make material number to navigate to the report, next level report also, right? You can create a program with combination of scenario 1 and scenario 2 also, depends on the requirement. Clear? Only thing is, what is the code you are writing inside this subroutine, this user command subroutine? Here we are implementing calling the transaction code, but if you want to implement a different logic for material number ALV report, what you need to do? In place of this, what you need to write? Select data, build the field catalog, call ALV. That's it, right? If you want to display next level report instead of calling a transaction code. Is everyone clear? Is everyone clear on this? So the very important interview questions in this concept are finding the technical name of the screen fields, finding the parameter ID, right? What is set parameter ID and what is get parameter ID and what is SAP memory? These are the important interview questions, and also the important concepts which you need to learn, which are useful in your like projects. That's it for today. So next topic would be we're going to work on object oriented class methods. Okay, I'll give you not complete object oriented concept now. First we'll see how to work with class methods, and I'll also provide some details about inheritance. Then after we'll jump into the next topic. We'll use object oriented class methods in our programs in our different areas, and later we'll continue with the remaining object oriented concepts. Okay, so that you can understand how we are going to use those object oriented concepts in our programs. Okay.
Okay.